What's up, everybody? Rebel Wealth Radio here with my partner in crime, Chris Burns, and we're going to talk today about the difference in being a professional, an expert, or just living the role type of thing. Because there's different ways to be a business owner, and a lot of people don't take it as serious as you can, and that reflects in your service.
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. What's happening, Steve? How are you, man?
Brother, I'm doing good. I'm ready to do this, except for the holidays.
You set for Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Are you guys going somewhere?
No, we're staying in-house this year. We're just it's just going to be Faith, myself, and her two girls just chilling all alone, just grubbing.
Perfect.
You know what is this low-key Thanksgiving is kind of cool. I'm kind of excited about it. I've always done huge Thanksgivings and lots of family, lots of commotion, but I'm kind of excited to just take it in and just relax and chill and still eat the same amount of food I would.
You're looking at 20 pounds.
Dude, we bought a 20-pound turkey, and there's 4 of us.
There you go.
And the girls are 8 and 6. We got a 20-pound. We're gonna be eating turkey for the next month.
Are you doing the whole multiple?
We're only gonna cook
just one
part of the turkey. Just
okay.
Part of it. Yeah. No, you mean going to a family's house?
Yeah, go to her family, go to your family. Okay.
No, like all my family's doing everything over at my brother's house, and then my kids, they'll be in Oregon. Okay. So yeah, they're doing their thing up there, and that's where they go every year for Thanksgiving. So it's low key chill.
We just did the Nevada. So this is 20.
Yeah, you guys were just in Reno this weekend.
So were you?
Yeah.
You follow us
I wasn't
everywhere.
doing Thanksgiving though. We hit up the Coconut Bowl, a little bit of arcade.
Yep.
Then went over to the Legends Mall, walked around Shieldz for a little while.
That place is awesome.
I love Shieldz.
I do too.
Love Shieldz.
Dude, last time I was there, even Nevada was out of ammo. Like the shelves were like empty.
They were empty.
That's sad.
Yeah.
But you went to a gun show?
No, so we didn't go. So the gun show we found out was at the Nugget Casino.
Yep.
And so, we got all those masked Nazis over there. We don't mess with masked Nazis. So, yeah, we just ended up we stayed out in Sparks, which Sparks is kind of like Yuba City, super conservative. They're not sweating people about masks. And so we went all around, Legends, went into Shieldz, nobody's saying nothing. And so it was cool. But we didn't want to mess with the Nugget. The casinos, they get all,
Yeah. Well, they got to, right? They got to check you at the door and stuff. Their state requires it or whatever. We just choose not to go.
I choose to not spend money where I'm not able to have the liberties and the freedoms.
America.
Yeah, that's right. So if I choose to wear a mask or I choose not to, if you want to wear one, you want to wear one for the rest of your life because that's fine, do it, but I ain't wearing one. And so I just won't support your business.
Yep.
So you have the right to choose and the freedom to choose, do it, and you'll get my you allow me to do it, you'll get my money.
There you go.
And I like to spend money.
And
I probably spent $2,500 at Shieldz on Saturday.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
A bunch of clothes and stuff for my kids for Christmas.
Yeah. What about that sweater you're wearing?
Boom. No, I got this on Amazon. Can you? It's Trump and it says "Let's go, Brandon." Can you believe it? Amazon will sell this stuff?
Yeah.
About as I guess they don't care. At the end of the day, they want to make money. So
a lot of people don't stand by their convictions when it comes to money.
Yeah, I stand by. I will walk off my job.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Which is sad because like the service that you give somebody, say, "Oh, I want you to wear a mask." You're like, "I'm not wearing a mask. I'll get you a loan somewhere else." They're gonna miss out.
That's right.
Because you are a professional.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So let's talk about what we were going to talk about today.
That's where I was going with that.
Let's
go.
Try to slide that in I like there. How you little detour, get us back on track. So talking a little bit about what it means to be a professional in your industry, right? So we can just speak to, our industries, me on the mortgage side and you on the real estate side. What separates us, why do I feel like for me, for years, I've considered myself a mortgage professional, not a loan officer, not a loan originator. I mean, I'm a mortgage professional. What that so I'll speak for what that means to me in my industry, and then you can kind of touch on what that means for you in your industry.
Yeah, sure.
So for me, a mortgage professional is somebody that throughout the process of every client that I meet with, it's led by education, right? So I don't care if you have purchased 15 homes, 50 homes, or you're a first-time home buyer. You do not do what I do for a living. I've been doing this for a very long time. I am the mortgage professional, and I am driving the ship. And what that means is I'm educating you along the way. So you being a buyer, whether that's the first time or the 50th time, you don't know the lending side. You don't know guidelines. You don't spend time in guidelines. It's like, if I'm doing a loan for, Joe Schmo at, works for, Kaiser Permanente, and he's a, LVN or an RN or whatever. I don't know your job, dude.
No.
I don't know what you do. I'm not going to tell you, oh, well, hey, you should put the needle in this dude's arm like this and take blood like this. No, that's not how it works, right? So a mortgage professional educates, I believe. I'm not an application taker. I'm not a rate quoter. Those are things that I just don't do. I'm a mortgage professional, and I educate my buyers and my borrowers, whether it's a purchase or a refinance, on the overall market conditions, the trends, the different guidelines, why things are the way they are, why is this income, can this income be used, why can't this income be used, it's, to me, it's easy, it's what separates me from, your standard loan officer who comes to work and just is trying to, get as many deals as they can. And not every client is my client, and I'm okay with that. I believe that education in anything, that when you're doing something, if you're educating people, then you are a professional, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I've earned that title. I've been doing it a long time, and it's not, and I actually pride myself on knowing guidelines inside and out. And I do that so that I can be confident in my ability that if I can't get a loan done, nobody else is going to get it done. Like if I say, hey, this doesn't work, you can't qualify right now, but we're going to get you on the track to qualify, you're not going to go somewhere else and get that loan done. And that's been proven time and time again, where people, borrowers, they don't like hearing no, right? So then they'll call someone else, and that other person who's not educated, is not a mortgage professional, gives them a yes, so they think that and then they get 3 weeks into the process, hence the one that we just were working on a couple of days ago. Talked to this guy 12, 13, 14 months ago, and somehow, and I told him, no, we can't do nothing for you. Like, you need to do this, 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 this. Well, he didn't do this, 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 this. And here we are 3 weeks into escrow. He goes to another lender. A year later, I haven't even talked to the guy. A year later, and, he comes to me. You guys are like, oh, the lender's declining his loan. Well, yeah, no kidding. Like, I told him that he didn't, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I'm confident in that happens all the time. I'm not saying no and somebody else is saying yes. You know what I mean?
100%. Like I'm talking about your industry.
Yeah.
So I get to see a lot of not as professional people. I won't put them down because everybody is where they are in their business. That's fine. But the reason you are separated to me is because you understand how to actually help the consumer through the challenges. Like, anybody can tee up a 800 credit score, 35% down, right? Yeah. But when it comes to the challenges, you understand better than the people that you're going to have to fight for to get acceptance. The guidelines. You've studied. You've done your homework. You are the professional in your industry. When somebody comes and they try to, you said, I'm the captain, I'm going to steer the ship.
Right.
When you have those clients that want to control the situation, they want to tell you what you should be doing as the lender, that's just the lack of you not being able to say, and I'm not saying you, I'm saying you're not demonstrating your expertise.
Correct.
To them, so they feel necessary. This is a big purchase. They've got to jump in the middle.
Right.
So I doubt you come across people that want to be in charge of your process.
No, I think from day one, I make it known that, like, hey, I'm the one that is steering this ship. Like, I'm going to guide you, and we're going to get this thing done, and we're going to get it done in a timely fashion, and it's going to be good.
That sounds harsh, though. Like, the way you just said that to the consumer, they're like, well, I don't want somebody telling me what to do. Like, but what you're actually doing is saying, this is my lane. This is what I'm really good at.
And that's how,
exactly. You, I'm going to step in and take care of the situation. Those problems come, they don't scare me because I've already done my homework. I already understand.
Yeah. The and then obviously you can go to, you can look up my profile and see all my reviews, and they're all 5-star, and people talk about the communication. That's really the one thing. It's funny because I actually got this text from a customer last night who, she kind of slowed down the process a little bit, had some things going on or whatever, but she said, she goes, I appreciate the update. Just keep me posted. Your team has been great and staying connected, and I appreciate the work. And I mean, I can go through probably 50 text messages in the last couple of days where that's the consensus. It's like, hey, and I'm the same way with every person. Like, I take charge of the loan process. Why? Because this is my lane, right? So it's my job to make sure that my loans get to the finish line, and that my buyers are extremely satisfied with the process. And so even on those challenging loans, I just saved a jumbo loan. You guys know about it. That was dealing with like 60 days in escrow. Couldn't even get an appraiser out there, but we just got that loan done. It closed like a week ago or something like that. And throughout the process, the seller, he was so frustrated. He stopped reaching out to the agent. He says, come to me directly. And he's like, I trust everything you're saying. Yep. But why is that? Because from day one, I let everybody know, hey, here is the situation. This is what we're working with.
Good or bad.
Yep. This is what we're working with. This is the obstacles we're going to have. And I'm going to get you guys to the finish line, but I need you guys to cooperate with me. And here's what we need to do. And so the expectations were set that, hey, I am the mortgage professional. I am driving this ship. You guys are on board with me. We're all going to get to the dock at the same time, right? And so the seller, we bonded, man. The seller, he's a drag racer, and he just reaches out to me, and he's like, anything you say, he's good. I would tell the agent something. He would go tell the seller, and he'd come back to me and be like, he just thinks I'm lying about everything. And I would tell the same thing to the seller, and the seller would be like, that sounds so good. Thanks for the information. So it's about setting that precedence up front. Who is the professional? Who's driving this ship? And when you do that, people do know where they are supposed to be in the transaction.
Yep.
And the last thing you want in your transaction is your buyers and sellers and even real estate agents stepping into your lane. That is not okay, and you will have a bumpy road every single transaction. It's like no different than me. I don't step into my real estate. I don't tell you guys, hey, don't write the contract like this, or hey, put this in there, or hey, well, you should be telling your sellers this, or none of that. That's your lane. Like, you give me the loan, I'm running with it. So that's how it should be.
You're talking about you trust us to do our part.
That's right.
Because we're the experts in our field, right?
Yes.
And on the consumer side, when I'm a consumer, if somebody is taking pictures of the house for me, I hire a photographer. I've done my homework.
Yeah.
I've hired you because you are an expert. So don't ask me, what do you want, this, that, or whatever. I'm trusting your artistic eye because I don't have it.
Exactly.
Right? So,
and I think that's the thing is when you're a professional, you want to work with professionals. You don't want to I'm not just going to work with somebody that. So if I'm a real estate agent and I'm setting up a listing, I'm not just going to hire somebody that's got a camera because they charge $50. I'm going to have a professional out there. I don't care if they charge $1,000, but don't ask me questions. I'm not questioning your job. Like, you just go out and you know how to this is what you do. You're a professional. I'll see the listing pictures when you get them over to me, and I'll do my part in setting up the listing and make that house attractive on Realtor and on all of the sites that it goes on. So
we're right now recording this podcast, and it's like a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I tried to do my own YouTube channel. It's terrible. You got Andy right
there.
Here.
You go. That's a prime example. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it look like Andy Frisella stuff. Like
exactly.
It's amazing. But
and the thing is, when you have a profession, he's the professional. He is a whatever video.
Don't make that face, Andy. You are the professional.
He is the professional. And he's the perfectionist too. So
you can tell it comes out.
His work is phenomenal. And that's the thing is, I stay out of his lane. I don't go in there and tell him, hey, do this, do that, do that. Just all I say is, hey, can you please post a video by Friday? Then I let him do his thing. And that's the thing is, so when you're a professional in your industry, you also understand and respect other people's industries and their profession, and you let them be the professional in that industry.
Life's so much easier that way.
God, it's
I don't go question the doctor.
Well, I do question doctors right now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't actually question doctors. I just stay the hell away from them because they're all liars.
My doctor is an expert.
What doctor is that?
The doctor of Fado.
Oh yeah.
I if he tells me,
is he at Ampla Health?
No, he's got his own little practice.
He was at Ampla. Wasn't he at Ampla Health?
I couldn't tell you.
I think he's the one that circumcised my firstborn.
Yeah. I don't know.
Does he do that? Did he circumcise
you? Better not come after me. I'll go find another expert.
So what about you, Steve? What about your industry? Like what makes it, talk about in detail what makes you guys a professional in your industry?
Because we purchase often. So like I need to know everything when I'm buying investment properties or flips or homes. I need to know, what's a good long-term investment? What do I do if the market drops? Like I study this because I care about it for my family. So in doing that, I knew more about real estate before I decided to go into real estate just from studying investors. Right. So I don't just study, sales and real estate and go to the little NAR conventions and stuff like that. I want to know the ins and outs of everything and how it affects the consumer so that I can position them in spite of them sometimes. You see it all the time. We get buyers that want to be like the Jones and they qualify for 600, so they're shopping at $700,000 properties trying to figure out a way to get it. And we're like, whoa.
Yeah,
where does that leave you in 10 years? You know, so if we can, in spite of, people's ambition, being excited about purchasing and making bad decisions, we have to move them. And sometimes that's a no.
Yeah.
We've had several people where it's going to be a $30,000 check to me that are saying, hey, I got to sell my house right now. I want to do this. And we're like, well, that doesn't line up with your goals. Like, it's a bad move. It's a bad time. I don't want you to sell this house right now. And we tell them, and you'll see they may list it with somebody else. But at least I done my part.
Did your part, yeah.
Yep, and they'll remember that.
And that's the thing. It's like kind of what I was alluding to in the beginning is like there's times I tell people no and they'll go to another lender just to hear a yes. Ultimately, they're going to get the no.
Oh, and they
so
suffer.
Like if somebody, they suffer. And so it's like if they didn't take heed your advice and they end up selling, they either walk away with less money or they don't hit their, whatever it is. So would you agree that another aspect of and I would say also too for me in my industry, but let's talk about your industry. Another part of being a professional is listening to what your buyers and your sellers are actually wanting, like actually listening to what it is they're telling you they want.
I actually teach a class, and it's a listing class about how to get listings and stuff, and a whole section is entitled "Shut Up."
There you
real estate agents
shut your damn mouth.
Yeah, just shut your mouth. Like agents spend so much time talking about how great they are and everything, but they never really listen to what the consumer is trying to do.
Yeah,
and that goes back to that. What are they trying to do? If you understand that, you're the expert. You can help them get to that big goal, whether they see it or not.
Yeah, and I think, and at the end of the day, people are people, right? So you're going to have people that just don't listen.
Nope.
Like even if you educate them, like, we have clients that, we'll tell them, hey, let's just say, for instance, somebody wants to refinance, right? And they want to pull some equity out for whatever reason. So, I've had a situation in the past where client wants to pull 20 grand out of their property in equity, right? Well, there's, obviously there's a loan to value cap. We can't go over a certain loan to value, right?
Sure.
On a cash out refinance. So the value that the house doesn't appraise. So they're not able to get that 20 grand, right? So you've got about, $6,500 in closing costs when you roll everything when you factor every impounds and all of that. And the house doesn't appraise. So now we have, then instead of 20 cash out, we can only give you 7, right? And so I tell them, hey, it's a better option for you to not take any cash, right? Because in a cash out, your interest rate's even a little bit higher, right? So let's not take any cash. Let's just do a rate and term refinance. Going to be able to drop your interest rate probably another 3/8 of a point. And you're going to ultimately now save an extra $200 a month. And they still say, no, just give me the 7 grand. So you're going to pay $6,500 in cost to get $7,000 out that you're financing over 30 years and taking 3/8 of a point higher in your interest rate. So like there are those people that when you do educate them, they don't matter. You can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then they just make a bad decision, and then they pay for it later on.
Yeah, later is so far in the future though. Who cares, right?
That's what most people are. It's like, you start thinking about people and like they look, well, everything is a payment to them, right? So, I'm paying $1,600 a month in rent, so, I can afford $1,900 or whatever. Okay, so this is good. But what you have, and it's funny, you and I sitting here talking about like how to talk people out of doing loans and how to buy, but it's like, but now you have the cost of every water heater that breaks, every faucet that breaks, every leak in the house, every that you don't have as a renter. So renting, it's you have to be, it's more than a payment, guys. And so when we educate people, it's that ultimately they're going to make their decision and their choice, right?
Yep.
So but I think it goes back to what we're talking about, being a professional. If I know that I've done my job as in educating them, and they still ultimately it's their decision, right? I'm not going to tell them whether they can or can't do something. I'll never do that, but I will I will put the education out there for them and be like, here's the pros and cons, right? So if you choose to make that's your choice, and I'll obviously, follow it through to the end because that's my job. But I definitely will educate you, and then ultimately you get to make that decision. You know what that is? I sleep better at night, obviously.
Yeah, I don't have any problems either.
I sleep knowing, hey, I gave them their options and they chose bad option.
Yep.
Not my fault,
No, and then you still got to get the job done for them in spite of their own decision.
Right.
But I'm the exact same way. As long as I've given them my honest opinion through our experience, you know, as an expert, then what you do with that is up to you.
That's up to you. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
I will push back. I'm not afraid to lose.
And I think that's honestly, that's what separates. No, I know that's what separates, your normal mediocre people and then your professionals, where we're not afraid to push back and then, possibly lose a deal. Where we're not hanging on to every single transaction. We need this in every transaction, right? We are okay with people walking away and going and getting the yes or the answer they want from somewhere else that doesn't care about what their goals are, what they completely explained in detail what their goals were, and they don't care about the long-term effects of their decisions and all of that, and they're okay with going and getting a yes from anyone that really doesn't care about them at all. I'm okay with that, because you will either come back to me when you realize that I actually had a vested interest in you as a person and listen to what you asked me to do, or you'll go and then you'll regret your decision down the road.
And hopefully it's not a regret. We don't want you to regret.
I don't want anyone to. Yeah, I mean, we all make mistakes, but at the end of the day, it goes back to what we're talking about, just that being that professional in your industry and having that confidence to educate your buyer, and being okay with them telling them no, or whatever you think, instead of you saying what you think they want to hear, just telling the truth, and whatever that is, it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have so much respect for certain mentors and stuff, that if they're an expert in their industry and it's somebody that I look up to, and they buy a product from somebody else, all that person has to do is tell me, that expert bought this product, and then I know it's okay to go get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's just recognizing who the experts are. Those are the easiest people to work with. They're the ones that don't need the money, number one. They're not trying to push or sell you something. They're actually trying to position you to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. When you have that respect for someone, they've done, then you're okay with taking their word for it, because they've done it, they've experienced it, and you obviously have that respect for them. And then they've actually earned that respect, and you can look and say, well, they have a proven track record.
Yep.
So it's like, I don't really need to question it. So it's like when people come to me and they're warm lead handoffs from all my agents or past clients or whoever it is, and there's no question. It's they come in trusting already,
and they should.
Yep,
and they should. So
yeah. Andy's taking really good notes today.
Good.
This one's gonna come fire when he posts it. I know the caption. I could see it already. It's gonna be something catchy.
I almost said what the title was gonna be from earlier, and I said, maybe I shouldn't say that.
I forgot what it was, but I'm sure it was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yep.
Did it have anything to do with my sweatshirt?
No. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, we got off topic on that.
I got that word stuck in my head now.
We put a lot of good information out there for peeps. So
I know the new person. We're not saying that you don't have a role in it. Being new and being an expert is a path.
Absolutely, yeah.
And as problems come up, it's just something that you want to just own your mistakes. That's where you learn, and that's how you become an expert, right? It's not just study; it comes from experience as well, So,
well, would you agree that it also you have to be willing to be coached?
Yeah,
you have to be willing to look at yourself and say, hey, I don't know everything. and I want to know everything. And so I'm going to come under the person that has done what I'm trying to do and accomplish. I'm going to respect their authority and their decision or their position, and follow along with what they're guiding me in.
100%. Yep.
So you got to be humble.
Yep. You do have to be humble.
You have to be humble. Yep.
And,
you have
and
to be
it's
humble.
that 100-0, 100% accountability for what you do,
Yeah.
and zero excuses behind it. So
Yep.
if when you make a mistake, it's just about, how do I move forward? What's the quickest path? How do I unscrew the situation I created? And
Yep.
that's where your expertise comes in.
Yeah. Well, that's all great info, man. It's always good chatting it up and getting this good information out to everybody. And I hope you and your family have a phenomenal Thanksgiving.
Likewise, man.
And, we always see you always eating everywhere. So maybe you might see us in your living room on Thursday,
I hope so. Yeah, you're always welcome, man.
Yeah. So everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. We love and appreciate you guys. And save some bird for us.
That's right. And be an expert.
Yes, sir. Talk to you guys later.